Yo, it's your boy Marcus Amorsini back with another video. Today we're going to be covering some fantasy football. Just trying to mix it up because I'm a big fantasy football guy. I'm a big football fan in general. Obviously, you guys have been around the channel long enough. You know I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. And so I watched this draft every year that they've done it called the Flock League Draft, right? And it's a fantasy football league that's very popular. It's probably the biggest fantasy football leagues in terms of like their channel size and how many subscribers they have. And so, yeah, great, right? It's always good. It's very funny, very entertaining, and they cover like their whole year trades, stuff like that. And it's great. Great videos. They just do an awesome job. And this year they got Jinxie, who's one of the biggest streamers in the world, on the he's one of the 12 teams now. So they also got in a couple of fans. So literally people who are just fans of the content creators in their videos. They submitted their own videos in order to get picked to become people in the league and get their own teams. Man, the fans, they're something else. So fan 1 is Rome and fan 2 is Zufa. And I'll go ahead and put the full draft board up so you guys can see like how it went down and how they drafted. It is a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex format with 6-point passing touchdown for anybody who is aware of how fantasy football works. Anyway, so just to kind of get all that out there, now let's talk about fan number 1, Rome. So Rome, he has an interesting strategy. I don't know what his strategy is exactly, but he has an interesting one of whatever it is. And so he decides to pretty much just take running backs, as you guys can see here. And he goes in the first round. He takes Bijan Robinson. Great pick. I mean, it's if you have the second overall pick, that's just who you're taking. It's either Bijan or Gibbs, and that's it. Let's move on. Coming back in the second round, he takes Jeremiah Love. I personally hate that pick. I think it's terrible. But, it is what it is, right? If he'd have just gone, any receiver, I think his draft would be infinitely better. But instead, he goes Jeremiah Love and then comes around and takes Trey McBride, right? Obviously, that's some homering. And if you play fantasy football, homering is not necessarily a good thing, right? Like, I know it's your team and you want to root for them, but, man, it's not always good. So taking 2 of his, I guess he's a Cardinals fan, his guys from his team, it's just who's projected to be like the worst team in the NFL, like a bottom 5 team at least. Not a good idea. But anyway, those were his first 3 picks. People did not like it, right? Like, I don't think anybody liked that start, but it's mainly because Love has just been falling in drafts, right? It's just people don't look at him as somebody who's going to be like a bell cow and get the full workload right away. So that wasn't great. And then he took DeAndre Swift with his 4th pick. Now, keep in mind, you can only start 4 running backs, right? So he's already got 3 through 4 rounds. Immediately, in the 5th round, he takes Travis Etienne, which is another running back. So he can start all 4 of these guys, but his receiving room, because of the draft they're in, like, the receivers are gone, right? Like, now he's got to wait for everybody else to pick. There's going to be 20 picks before he can take a receiver. So his number 1 receiver is Courtland Sutton, which is the number 2 receiver for the Denver Broncos. Kind of terrible. Kind of terrible. Now, he did have 1,000 yards last year, and he brought that up when he made these picks that all of the guys he picked had 1,000 yards last year. Yeah, I don't know, man. And then Wan'Dale Robinson, who also had 1,000 yards last year and is now in Tennessee. I guess he might be the number 1 option. I would assume so. Maybe Carnell Tate is, but very interesting picks, right? And he's just getting roasted the whole time. Absolutely roasted. Because he was talking about how I have the most RB depth in the league and, I have the most trade equity, which I don't know if he quite understood what that meant. And I don't even know if Avery understood what that meant when he started arguing with him about it, but it's pretty funny. Anyway, so he's starting 2 of the wide receivers he's starting is terrible. But it is 12 teams, so, it can get like that sometimes. But he should have taken a wide receiver instead of Love, right? He could have had, I don't know, Malik Neighbors, Rashee Rice, Chris Olave. But we find out later on that he decided to make a trade. He gave up Etienne for Olave, so he does end up getting a number 1 receiver, so that's very good for his team. But dude, they were absolutely going in on him. And then he decides that he's going to take Romeo Doubs in one of the later rounds, right? And when he takes Romeo Doubs, he's in like the back room where they're doing their picks, and he's talking to Sal, which is the guy who's picking right after him. And he's like, "Where's Carnell Tate? I don't see his name on here." And Carnell Tate went in like round 5. Romeo Doubs is like going in round 8. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even, he's been gone, right? These guys are not letting him drop to round 8. Like, it's just not happening. Hilarious reactions from people, and I thought it was just the funniest stuff because I've done a lot of mock drafts and I never would even think about it. Most of my leagues are 10 team, but for 12 team, he's definitely not making it all the way down there. Pretty funny, man. Pretty funny stuff with the whole Carnell Tate Romeo Doubs situation in the video. Feel free to go check out that video. Just type in Flock League in YouTube. It should pop up immediately. It's going, I guess, viral. I've seen so many reactions to it. It's crazy. So, and then the pick that was probably the craziest, right? Because I'm not going to go through the rest of his picks because most of those guys that you draft after this point are droppable, like immediately. So he took Brandon Aubrey in the 9th round of a draft that's filled with people who are like kind of experts. I wouldn't know if they were experts. I would just say like they literally make a living by making videos about fantasy football. Like that's part of their, you know what I mean? So I guess you could kind of say they are. It's just however you want to call it. Experts is fine with me. He took Brandon Aubrey. Brandon Aubrey, for anybody walking in blind, is a kicker. A kicker, right? So it's like absurd to take this person to for what? Like, you know what I mean? And I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. I'm a Cowboys fan. So Brandon Aubrey's the Dallas Cowboys kicker. And so I'm like, he's been the kicker one like twice in his career. He's only been in the league like 4 years. Like, he's a great kicker, and they're going to kick a lot of field goals, and they're going to kick a lot of extra points. So he's going to score a lot of points for your fantasy team, right? And he might average like 11 points a game like he did last year or the year before, whichever one it was. And he's done it like twice. I'm like, I don't think it's actually that bad to take him there because he's going to outscore everybody in that range, right? Like, he could be kicker 1 and outscore everybody who's drafted after him. You know what I mean? He scores like 220 points this season. That's kicker 1, and he's good to go. You know what I mean? Like, taking him in the 9th round, and you have a positional advantage. Like, he said things that made sense, but they were absolutely roasting him. He didn't have a quarterback yet, right? Jalen Hurts was still on the board, and he took Brandon Aubrey. It was the right pick. Like, I think if you're going to take a kicker early, Brandon Aubrey is the one to take, just not that early and not before you get a quarterback. I just thought it was hilarious, man. I also wanted to kind of just end this off. Like, I think he'll be fine. His team's going to be fine, especially after that Olave Etienne trade that he made. So I think he'll be okay. Nathan had a really good strategy that I would like to implement where he took Chase Brown in the 1st round. I would actually take Chase Brown like really high. Like, I think he's going to be great. So I thought his strategy, if you watch the video, was great. That being said, yeah, I don't know why they roasted him so hard. Like, I get it, but like, man, I just kind of felt bad for him at one point. I was just like, man, stop going in on this guy. Let him be, man. And it was funny. They were like, no ball knowledge was required in order for you to get into this league, and they should have to make that some parameter for the next season because of how bad this guy's picks were, in their opinion. I would love for him to win the league, and everybody just has to shut up. That being said, that pretty much covers everything. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Just wanted to mix it up with a different type of video commentary. Like, comment, subscribe. It's been your boy Marcus Morcini. I'm out. Peace.